Okay, so I'm going to talk about the technology that is used to study the hydrosphere. So this is like a timeline. Alright, so the first thing are buoys, and they may have existed before the 13th century, but the first recorded buoy was 30 years later, and a buoy is a floating device that measures both the characteristics of water and the current at a particular location. They are important because they have learned, or scientists have learned to recently add technology to buoys to tell more information about the water. Okay, and then the next one is the water thermometer, which was invented in 1593, and it measures the temperature of water. And the first one was created by Galileo, and it was just very basic. Okay, and that is important because without it, we wouldn't know the temperature of water and stuff, and it has also opened new doors to new inventions and stuff like that. Okay, so the next one is right here. Okay, the next one is submersible vehicles, or submarines, and they were invented in 1623. And a submersible vehicle is an instrument that goes underwater to study underwater processes. It helps discover life under the water's surface. It impacted science because without them, we would have no knowledge of what is deep underwater. The next one is a rain gauge, which was invented in 1662, and they help scientists measure rainfall. And this was a huge impact on the science world because it helped calculate the average number of rainfall each year. And the next thing is sonar, and that was invented in 1822, and it is a system that uses transmitted and reflected underwater sound waves to detect and locate submerged objects or measure the distance underwater. And the first one was just an underwater bell that calculated the speed of sound underwater. And this was important because it led to the invention of other dedicated sonar devices. So that was why it impacted the science world. And then the next one is the water meter, which was invented in 1873. And it is a device used to measure the volume of water usage. And it impacted the science world because it helps us measure water consumption so we don't use too much of it. And then the next one is stream gauges, which was invented in 1889, and they provide stream flow information. They impacted science because it helped with flood prediction, water management, etc. And then I have three more. And then the next one is the world's first handheld pH meter for water, and that was invented in 1948. And it impacted the science world because now we know that the acidity in water should never get too high or low. And then the next one was in 1969, the turbidity meter was invented, and that measures the dirt and cloudiness in water, or like the salinity of it. And then that impacted the science world because it showed how much water was being polluted so it didn't harm anyone's health. And then the last one is in 2007, the satellite system was invented, and that tracks the origin and movements of water vapor, and that impacted the science world because it lets us discover what a dominant role the Earth's water cycle plays in weather and climate. So that is the end of my project.